I will. We were just going to talk a little bit about how Procovery came to Missouri and how we got involved in it, and why we thought it was something that would work for us. We both had seen it at a NAMI conference. Kathleen had come in and talked, and it was something that really resonated with me. It was like a down deep, wow, this is something I definitely understand and can relate to. And then it had that framework when I thought about it for a system. I'd heard about recovery and I'd gone to other presentations, but it's the only recovery model that I had ever seen that had principles and strategies that could help us and be something that we could do.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And I know that I had that same feeling at that conference when I left there. I remember kind of a wow moment, and like, gee willikers, this is pretty cool, and buying the book and all that. And again, having that path to, it seemed just so different and had such a distinct, unique, real, like I said, way to get there that, all the other things we had tried.
That's okay. I'm reflecting on how I became interested in Procovery, and I think it really is an extension of what I've been believing in for a long, long time, for my 40 years of working in the field of mental health and in healthcare. Just many of the concepts that are covered in the Procovery model or process, for example, really having a very strong belief that people have within them the power to make a difference in their lives, and that they can indeed live satisfying lives. That's something I have always believed. Building on the pluses or the assets that a person brings to the therapy room or to the doctor's appointment or for any form of treatment is exceedingly important. Taking a holistic approach is most important. Doing things that would inspire people, most important. And I call out these things, and I could call out 15 or 20 other things that have been highlighted in the book on Procovery by Kathleen. But those are concepts that at Hopewell Mental Health Center that we've had as a part of our values and our philosophy for an awful long time, in fact for 25 years. What we didn't do was to make it as clear and as concise as Kathleen has done it, nor were we able to come up with those unique ways and tools of bringing those things to life, bringing those concepts to life, and presenting them in a way that our clients could really understand them with greater depth.
Gee willikers, I mean, I think we expected to have maybe relatively large numbers at those trainings. The real surprise came the next day. When the numbers that showed up to be facilitators.
And we were only looking for 6 circles a side.
Yeah,
exactly.
that was quite a surprise. It's a good problem to have, but
unexpected.
Unexpected, to say the
which
least.
in working with the resources that we had, and it's just been a really interesting process, and then just having it just kind of explode on us, and then having to close it down just to make sure that the structure was there and the fidelity was there. And I am just so very excited and just so proud of what Procovery Institute has done in coming up with this fidelity structure. To me, it's amazing, because I don't believe that the Department of Mental Health could ever have developed this kind of fidelity and an approach to manage it, because that's not how we manage things.
And I think that when this whole thing rolled out, I think along with everybody else, I think everybody had their skepticism about it until we went to the initial presentation. And I think that it was interesting to see people's perception of what Procovery is completely change. And I think, I mean, and what I always come back into what I use this a lot in supervision, and it helps me stay focused on, let's not focus on this kid's problem. Let's focus on what this kid can do. And I bring that back into supervision because I know that it's easy for case managers to come back and they're, oh gosh, I just had a rough day and this happened and this happened, and this happened. And I think, well, you know, where are you going with this kiddo's strengths instead of all the bad things that are going on in his life? What's going on that's good? And I force them down this road of, let's quit looking at this from a weakness-based area and get into it more of a strength-based, and you can see them turn around too. And I think that helps me, you know, by itself in supervision, where I at least have something I can, you know, because I can feel the tug too. I get into that situation where they're telling me all this stuff and I'm thinking, now I gotta go call this parent up and talk to them about it. But then I can get some clarity and think, okay, well, wait a minute here. There's more to this than this client's name or this client's parent. These are real people. I know that, you know, Johnny likes to play baseball, and I know that he is really a person instead of just a number attached to a chart.
Right.
And so that helps me keep a human quality involved in my supervision with case managers.
You know, I mean, this doesn't just work for people who are just recovering from a type of mental illness. You know, even those who don't have diagnosis, even those of us who are just, you know, out in the community and society, you know, people say we're just regular. You know, it helps everybody, you know,
And
take that step.
And that's a good point, because what's interesting about this is that you would think, who would know all this stuff? The clinicians should know all this stuff. This should just come to them second nature. I went 6 years to school for this.
You know?
I should know this stuff. But every time you look at that, it's helpful.
That's right.
Every time it reminds you of things. Oh, wait a minute, that's completely different than I had been thinking all this long. Either I've moved away from how I'd viewed things before, or I was taught completely differently.
Right. It is. It can really be translated to a caseworker's manual in a sense,
Mhm.
because it really does. It keeps you refocused and ingrained, and it does bring it up, and you can go back and reference things, and it keeps it simple. It's not clinical, and it's not social work versus psychology versus this. It's reality, and that's the nice thing about it. It's there. It's in print, and you use it how you want to use it. It's very